Welcome back to the Riders. Wait, hang on a minute. That is not Riders Republic down there. That is because there's a new kid on the block, and their name is Shredders. This highly anticipated Snowboard Steez Fest dropped last week, and the community is going absolutely bonkers for this indie title. But today, we're going to ask the hard question. How does it stack up against Riders Republic? Stick around for that. Plus, we have the next Tartiflet Games event lined up and raring to go. That announcement and much, much more coming up right now on the Riders Report. Today's episode is brought to you by our YouTube members. Thank you as always to executive producers Booney Crucier and Coach 34, along with co-producers It's the Mort and Mitch's mom, and our fans and Fans Plus. If you'd like to become a member and help support the channel, hit join down below for cool perks like early access to the shows, emojis and badges, exclusive Discord roles, members only content, sneak peeks, and more.
Today's background footage comes from Yami Vulgaris. Thanks for sending this in and getting us some Shredders footage, because I am not good enough yet to record myself and show that to the world. You can also submit your background footage for the Riders Report if you want to. We did that in previous shows. If you have 20 to 30 minutes of footage laying around, you can just message me or Nick on Discord and we might use it in one of the videos. Shredders did launch on Thursday, March 17th, and it has taken the community by storm. It is out on Xbox and PC, and it is available on Game Pass on both of them. It's also available over on Steam, but we'll be talking about it more in the main topic. We also announced TFG Combo Mambo. Our latest Riders Republic competition wants you to submit your best combo where you switch sports at least once, but you can switch as many times as you like. Those clips should be 5 to 25 seconds long, and submissions are open now through April 13th. You can find more rules and the submission forms at nickandmitch.com/combo mambo.
Oh, I cannot wait. That one is just going to be a glorious mess.
If you want to see how we get ready for the main topic, if you're a member, there's a video up right now. It's probably 2 minutes long, and Nick and I had a little back and forth, a little comedic riff that just really got us in the energy.
Yeah. It's 80% joke. Let's just leave it at that. Make sure you sign up to be a member, at least for this month, so you can check that out. But that's not what we're here to talk about today, Mitch. We are here to talk about the brand new indie snowboard snow park game, Shredders.
Yes, this just dropped on Xbox and PC, and it reminds a lot of people about Steep when it first came out and Descenders. It is much more, I would say, a simulation where it is a lot harder to control your snowboarder, but you can do basically anything you would want to on a snowboard. And I was watching Steep stream it the day before it launched. I watched his other videos. I'm sure most people have by now. Almost everyone in the community has been posting some videos that they've been creating, and opinions seem pretty high on it from a lot of the hardcore riders that this is what they wanted snowboarding to be in Riders Republic, and this is what they want from a snowboarding game. It is very focused on the technicality. You can do the butters, you can do the presses, you can control the spins exactly how you want to, and it just looks so smooth.
You know, anyone that has spent any time on our channel knows darn well that we are not the pros. We are not professional level gamers like everyone that competes in our events, like all of the other channels around Riders, Steep, and Shredders, and even Descenders now. But we do love looking at a real pretty video game, right? So my eye has been drawn to the UI, the graphics, and just the overall vibe that this game has been giving off. And it gets darn near 9 out of 10 stars. The snow looks absolutely fantastic. Now, let's also just say that this game is primarily bread and butter for PC, right? So we're talking 4K, 60 frames per second. I mean, it is a crispy game. And that's not saying that Steep and Riders Republic aren't, but this one really seems to knock the socks off with all of the designs, all of the textile designs in the shop, in the user interface, and all of that on the menu screen are just gorgeous. Sounds could use a little bit of work, but, you know, the game looks beautiful.
It does, yeah. And there's, the powder, the snow
Mhm.
physics. I've heard some great things where if you restart a line, which, yes, you can just restart where you want to,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, you can see your previous line that you carved through the snow if it's thick enough powder.
Oh, really?
If you go off like a cliff and hit your snowboard on the rocks, some sparks fly. Now it looks, after you watch it a few times, it does look, a little cartoonish or just like looks not fully done, but it's
Mhm.
still better. You don't have that in Riders Republic. It's a really cool effect. And some of the sounds too, when you're grinding on rails, just hits perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and we have to take all of this with a grain of salt. It is an indie game. They don't have that Ubisoft money. Period. Full stop. There's the discussion right there. They are not fighting in the same weight class. They're fighting for the attention of the same community, but they are not the same game. They are not on the same level. It's very hard to compare and contrast and say without a doubt that one game is better than the other. They both bring two different things to the table. But what Shredders is bringing to the table, like you said, those little elements, those extra immersion details. It brings you into the game a little bit better, makes you feel like you're a snowboarder a little more than Riders does. But you're not going to get the deeper stories. You're not going to get the world-class voice actors. That was actually one of the biggest points that I had. It's awesome that they have some star power in their voice acting toolbox there. Zeb Powell's one of the names. I think there were a couple others that you were rifling off. But the voices that aren't pro athletes are very, very dry, very boring. So maybe that's touched on later on, but again, that's not the purpose of this game, so it doesn't really matter. It's just someone like me looking from the inside or from the outside in is going to notice something like that.
And it was made, I believe, by, I want to say 6 to 15 people total.
Wow.
It's a small dev team. It's an indie.
Shut my
They're
mouth.
all like snowboarders from Europe, like the group of friends, and all from different countries. So they work remotely, it seems like. And you can tell that with some of the audio too from the celebrities. They are all on different mics. So the quality of the mic is, hit or miss depending on what they had. And some of them are like athletes trying to act. Sidney Crosby, I'm looking at you, where they're reading the dialogue on the screen, but they're not like feeling the dialogue.
Mhm.
They're just reading it off, and it sounds a little underwhelming. I will say that the dialogue that they have and the attitude that they're putting in the conversations and the ideas is done better than Riders Republic. It's not as over the top, like, hey, bro, dude, kid type
Right.
language. It is more along the lines of a snowboarder vibe. But
Which,
yeah.
I mean, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
that's it.
No, that tracks for a wider audience. We know and we've discussed at length that Ubisoft is trying to make Riders this all-encompassing game from kids, age whatever the starting age is for Riders Republic, up to adults that have mortgages and families and all that good jazz. So they have a lot more to play with. They're trying to pull in a bigger audience, so they are going to make it a little more cartoony, a little more arcadey on the front half. But the physics and everything in Shredders, you just can't beat it. It's a game, like you said, there's a lot of comparison that we could do between Shredders and Steep. A lot of folks saying that Steep and Shredders at the beginning, both kind of fighting at the same level, at the same weight class, in the sense that it was a very small dev team. Steep wasn't an indie game, but it was as indie as a AAA title like Ubisoft can get, right?
Mhm.
Kind of like a Skull and Bones. Like it was a team of like, what, 20 or 30 people?
I think at the start it did grow to most of ANC, but Riders Republic's now 6 different Ubisoft studios. It was
Exactly.
very much a game that they had the idea and the concept because they could make the maps from Ghost Recon Wildlands and some of those other giant maps, and people in ANSI said, hey, let's use that tool to make mountains and then skiing. And after bothering Ubisoft HQ enough, calling up Yves like several times in the middle of the night, he's like, fine, you guys have a few years to just do what you want. Just make this. You still have to make our other stuff like the Rabbids multiplayer and Mario vs. Rabbids, and you still have to do work for us, but you can do this when you want to.
Yeah, right. I love the image of someone from the dev team just calling the CEO of Ubisoft proper. Just, you need to give us money for this game. Fine, okay, whatever. But I mean, you can talk to the gameplay aspects. You said that the control is much, much more fine-tuned in Shredders. I mean, what is the what is the main difference between, let's say, the beginning of Steep and in Shredders, how it is now?
It's hard. I don't even remember the beginning of Steep at this point, and the controls. I'm struggling with Shredders. I can just say that with the controls. And Steep was in stream too. People were like in the chat just telling him you have to let go of the stick at this point or flick it before. I don't even know if it's still before or after. I can't figure it out. It's very complex, and complex to the point that it does seem like a lot of people are struggling with it. Now, the people who make it look great make it look insane, and they can do exactly what they want on the board. And that's what you want out of a game. In Riders Republic, I believe you can't pull off a single, double, or triple cork and also pick how many rotations you have. Like, you can't, there's not that level of control. Like, if you start spinning at a certain, like over 1440, you're doing a double cork. You can't do a single 14, I think.
Right.
I don't know all the numbers, but you are locked in certain tricks. And in this, you can control that. You can open up your body for a second and then close it back up to kind of control the speed, and very complex.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, they're sacrificing some elements of typical gameplay, like, typical elements of gameplay that I can't list right now, to focus on the physics. But, one of the things that Shredders does have that Riders Republic is still lacking, you mentioned one of those items up front, and that was the ability to just reset your line and go back up to the top of your line and try it again from where you decided to start, which is huge. But along those lines, they also have a replay editor, and it kicks ass.
I know, it's wild. I saw people saying it's wild to think that an action sports games has a replay viewer, and this one has one. Now, it is not perfect, and I see people agreeing, I see people disagreeing. It is almost like a flow cam where you can watch it, but it already presets where the camera is. So right when you jump into replay mode, the camera is moving around your rider, and it's trying to figure out what the best angle is for each trick and make it look like a nice drone's like slowly following and zooming. It's kind of hard to get the shots you want for now. I'm sure there's going to be a good tutorial out there. I think Skater XL's was somewhat the same system. So there will probably be good tutorials telling you how to get this certain shot. I was able to get a follow cam by deleting all of the kind of markers for the camera. What's really cool, though, is that you can just save the replay and then load it later. So if you did a really cool line through a snow park, you can save it to the game, not edit it then, go do other stuff, save a couple more, then watch back through and pick your best one and then edit the camera points. So that means that if we're running an event like Knuckle Huck, you can take 10 attempts at the Knuckle Huck, just save all of those replays, and then after you've done 10, then you can go through and watch all of them, pick your favorites, and then edit the camera angles and all of that afterwards. You don't have to record a run, edit the camera angles, save all of those, then do another run, do all that, and then just delete all of that work. It saves you time.
Yeah, it saves you time and the workflow of a rider. When you're grinding something in a game, you just want to boom, boom, boom. Okay, that didn't work. Let me adjust. Let me tweak it by just this much. Okay, let's redo it. Okay, tweak by this much and add this button. Okay, let's try it again. Let's pull the trigger this time. It is so quick in the workflow and the pace. These riders are going to be able to pull out some insane tricks just because the workflow that this game provides is in there. It's working in their favor. They know exactly what we're trying to go after because it's what this game wants us to be doing. So overall, I mean, Shredders seems like a wonderful experiment, like a science experiment almost, on what an extreme sports game could be, what they should be, and what games that exist now should be looking into for future DLCs and future updates.
It also does show off our point, though, from when we were first comparing Riders Republic to Steep, and people were saying, I just want Steep 2. Right now, Shredders on Metacritic has a 68 from critics and a 5 out of 10 from users. And Riders Republic's a 78 critic, 6.4 user. I also saw that on the Xbox Game Pass when I downloaded it, though. It was like 2 out of 5 stars. This game is not going to hit for the masses. a lot of people are going to download this, try it, not get the controls, and then say, this sucks. And then they're going to go play Riders Republic and be like, this is smooth. And they're going to like that more. That's more of the mass audience game. And so, unfortunately, these types of games will always, I think, come from indie studios. If Xbox gives Foam Punch, who made Shredders, more money, it's not going to be Shredders 2 or the snowboarding game 2. It's going to be SSX or Riders Republic type game because Xbox is funding it.
Yeah, right. I mean, well, best of luck to everyone that is taking on this beast of Shredders. Hopefully enough of you get good at this game so we're able to have a Tartiflet Games breakout in Shredders. I messed up that big announcement, big thing, but like, we really want to do stuff in Shredders. We really want to work with some names in the industry, some big names that you know and love as well, to give Shredders the due diligence it deserves. We feel like, from our commentating point of view as well, this game is going to allow a whole other realm of shoutcasting that we have not been able to get with the kind of rigid walls that Steep and Riders Republic have given us. So look forward to that. Let us know your thoughts on Shredders. If you're playing it, if you're looking to, if you've seen a friend play it, just let us know your thoughts about the new game, and if it is taking the spot of Riders Republic in your day-to-day play. Well, on the back half of this week's episode of the Riders Report, it's time to round it up with the Riders Roundup. This is our self-promo tab over on our Discord page. If you are making content in any of these extreme sports games, we want to see it, and we will promote it on a weekly episode. This week, we have 4 heavy hitters, and we're starting out with a GOAT. It's Zerk Gets Focused.
Yes, there's a new name on the show. I don't believe we've shown any of his clips yet, but Steep talked about him in one of his recent videos, and he's putting together some absolutely insane tricks in this game. I'm scared to have yet another top competitor join the ranks, and he's just proving it with all these tricks.
Honestly, yeah. Someone tell Zerk about the Tartiflet Games. We will see you in the Combo Mambo. Up next, talk about a TFG competitor. It's Benny404 with another banger. This time, it's over in Shredders, and you can see exactly what we were talking about with that follow cam in Shredders, giving us those drone perspectives through this 4-minute session. Wonderful camera work. I know you really can't control it, but it's gorgeous. And like you said, it's going to work really well for something like a Check My Steez line.
This is perfect for Check My Steez, Shred the Spot, Real Snow. Yes, Real Snow, something like that.
Yeah.
You can't do the stationary angles yet. I'm sure people will figure out a way, and there's people modding, so I think a replay mod will probably come at some point. Yeah, you can just see how beautiful you can make this game look, and just how buttery smooth a lot of these tricks are. We also got yet another video from Ian Hawk BMX, the winner of Best Trick Bike in TFG. He's getting steezy in the trick battle arenas, and that's it. Speechless. I've never gone to shred these spots in the trick battles, and maybe I should go ride around when it's not in the heat of competition.
I was just going to say, yeah, all of the lights are turned out in the trick battle arena, and Ian is just demolishing all of these faces that you're otherwise not able to access, like throwing it over the ice castle, the perimeter. Just fantastic work over there by Ian again. And rounding out the pack this week in the roundup, we have Call Me Jay with a 3-minute banger. This one to the tune of Crazy Train.
Heck yeah, it is. And he's working with even more new people, it looks like, featuring Papaya, Mox, and the Gripsian. So he's branching out and just bringing more people into his stunt montages. So he's going for that primary role of the stunt editor, and he can also pull off some crazy tricks. And then he's inviting even more people to the party.
Yeah. Oh, we always love seeing these group sessions, and we want to see more of them. So once again, if you are out here making content, if it's just you, if it's you and a bud, if it's you and a couple of buds, share that over on our Discord page in the self-promo channel, and you will be featured in an upcoming weekly episode. Yeah, we can't wait to see what everyone has in store. Shredders, Descenders, Steep, Riders Republic. Just give it all. Bring it all over here. We want to see everything that you got. That's all that we got for this week, though. So thank you very much for joining us for the 21st episode out of our 100 guaranteed episodes of the Riders Report. Special thanks again goes out to our YouTube members. You heard them up top. You're going to hear them here now again. Executive producers, Booney, Crucier, Coach 34. Our co-producers, It's the Mort and Mitch's mom. And of course, our fans and Fans Plus.
If you'd like to become a member and help support us, you can hit join down below for some of those cool perks, like the extra video we're going to put out from us recording earlier today. There's a members video per month, sneak peeks to different intro edits, emojis, badges, and more. You can also subscribe just to catch all of the great Riders Republic content, including this show and the Tartiflect games. We have Combo Mambo and maybe some Shredders events coming up soon.
Dun dun. Are you drinking over there? You slurring your words in this outro? You all right? Can you put your finger on your nose for? Okay, boom. There it was.
I'm just excited.
Of course. You can also check out all of our other places that we live on the internet, like Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and our Discord server. All of those links down below. And join us over on Discord, of course, because that is where the party continues after the weekly episode concludes. It is just like I've said it before, I will say it again. It's just like the ski lodge minus the smell. You can't beat it. Thank you very much again for watching this week's episode. We will see you same place, same time next week for episode 22 of the Riders Report. I'm Nick.
And I'm Mitch.
And we'll see yins on the slopes.